Yeah.
It's good. I'm sure. Tristan, are you afraid of it?
Actually, Tom is still the boss here.
I'm not sure whether my background needs to be recorded, but okay.
So, are you in your bedroom?
Tom.
Bedroom, yeah. Oh.
Fellow Toastmaster, it's a great honor for Tom and I to welcome you to this meeting of the Executive Committee. And I don't welcome any guest because there's no guest. That's the beauty of this meeting. So I thought, Tom and I thought that as we're now moving to the transition from one team to the next one to run the VIC club, we thought we would organize a short meeting to have to ensure, in one sense, have a takeover, a takeover or a putsch, as how Maria Teresa would say, because frankly, this committee was not subject to any proper election principle. We just, with Maria Teresa's support, we took over the club. I'm just kidding on all that. Huh? But I just wanted to have a formal, a clear opportunity for us, first of all, to thank the outgoing team, and especially Thomas, because you've done more than 12 months. You have done actually almost probably 18 months or taking over the club following the departure of Sunil. And I must say, you really have stand up to the challenge over the last year and a half on how you have conducted our club meetings as only in the offices, but also on the daily, on the ongoing meetings, where I must say your assiduity was amazing. The number of meetings that you attended, I don't know if you missed more than 5 meetings throughout the entire years, only 2. And that in itself is an amazing accomplishment. And I think we should all be very thankful for the amount of engagement that you have done over the last 18 months. So kudos to you and all your puppets, which we don't see today, but which basically expanded the membership. And I'll ask you, Birgit, to send a membership feed for each one of them. You just need to indicate their names, and and then you will receive it. So first of all, big kudos to Thomas for the amount of work you've done. Obviously, you were not alone. You were surrounded by a team. Actually, most of the team will actually continue in a way or in another to support the management of the club. And I'm also very thankful for all of you for that role. We have some new members now joining also the committee. We have Melanie taking over from Victoria, which in itself also is a challenge as Vice President Education, but also I understand with the support of Maria Teresa in that role to help her, to guide her to that way.
And I understand also from Victoria, who is not going to disappear.
Right.
The majority of the work will fall on the 2 of us.
So,
I'm ready to go, Melanie.
I'll just on paper. I'll let you do all the work.
No, it's not the way it works. So we thank Melanie for taking this important role. And I saw from the documentation information that Victoria actually sent out, this is the second most important role, and probably the most important role also in the committee, which takes a lot of time and engagement. So we're counting a lot on you, Melissa, to play a role in this. We also have Victoria.
Melanie.
Sorry.
Not Melissa, Melanie.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
My apology for that. And we also have Victoria staying on board, changing from Vice President Education to take the role of Vice President Public Relations. And we're very happy to continue benefit from your experience. Ines, I think you continue in the same role.
Yeah, I did.
As a membership, it's a membership.
Yeah.
And
right.
We're very thankful for that. And we'll also at some stage have to discuss what are the objectives. So thank you for remaining in this role. And we also have we have Sila, who is joining now the team. Is she still there?
No.
Sila she has a German exam today. So she
yes.
has to leave early.
So it's so Sila is taking over the secretary role.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's first a role in the club. So it's also an important role to keep the things going.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have our very experienced treasurer, Birgit, Surgeon of Arms, and Rina, who are also helping us in running this club. And obviously we're open to anyone willing also to help with idea and suggestions in the way we want to move forward with the club. I see Maria Teresa would like to say something. So
yeah, I do not think we should forget Toastmaster Alois, who has been very faithful over the years and has been our continuing Zoom master, which is a lot of work. So I think we ought to give him some applause too.
Yes. And I must say, he's become over the last 3 months, he's become a true expert in Zoom, and you can see how he's even though a little background with some text. So actually, he's doing an amazing job at Kipika, advanced planning for the meetings and providing the meetings. And what is amazing, and I must say personally I adore, is how quick we have the recording of the meeting. Very shortly, usually on the same night or the next day, and actually that makes it very relevant, so you can go back and look at it. And the quicker it is to the meeting happening, the more likely you are to go back and have a look at what you've missed. And I myself went and I looked at some of our past meetings that I missed, just to see also some of you. And also, just to say, Alois, on that point, I also went back to look back at the speech and give a more thorough feedback to some of the participants, to some of the speakers, because you can relook at it and then restructure more the feedback, which I thought was also very useful from that perspective. So thanks very much, Alois, also for that. Did I miss anyone, Maria Teresa?
Well, I don't think so. Well, except our immediate past president, Tom. I mean, he still stays on the committee.
Yeah. And I will take the opportunity to thank our Vice President Public Relations for all that he did for us, and especially for taking over his new role now as incoming president. So
thank you.
And so I'm pretty sure our club will become much more popular with somebody who was public relations before and now is president. I'm looking forward to this era. For the past, I think one of the most remarkable events, of course, was going online. We were already online with our first meeting, with our first regular meeting on March 17, which I believe was quite fast because the official lockdown started on March 16, so it took us just 1 day to adjust, which I think is a good sign for our club. I'm pretty sure we are able to keep this dynamic. Yeah, and there is a good new team that will be able to achieve a lot in the future. Well, Mr. New President.
So thank you very much, Tom, and I look forward to take my new role on apparently on 1st of July. So I see Maria Teresa with
Tristan, I think one of the first things you will have to decide, or the executive committee will have to decide, is the frequency that we will meet and whether we continue to meet online or whether we go hybrid. which means there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I mean, I know there's some people at the VIC that can't go onto Zoom, at least because the work doesn't let them. But there are maybe some people who would like to meet in person. I think that's one of the first things you ought to be thinking about. And also a frequency. Do we meet every week or every other week?
Yeah, and maybe I'm open to, we're open to have thoughts on that. My general inclination for July and August would go back to the normal meeting twice a month, every other week, the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday. Instead of meeting at lunchtime, we would meet at 6 o'clock, and we would meet in July and August. We would continue meeting online.
Super.
That would be my my suggestions from that perspective, because we had a lot of speech requests up to the end of June, because a lot of people wanted to accomplish on their objective on the old cycle. I'm not so sure how much we will have speech requests now in the summer, and now that everybody has to move on to the new program. So if that's okay with you, or if someone has would like to share a view or
I think that's perfect. I think that's absolutely perfect.
Okay. And as the executive committee, I would recommend we meet once a month. We meet online. And frankly, I think a meeting online for us as a committee is actually probably more easier for most of us. So you don't have to physically come in the VIC, and while the meeting of the club, as soon as we can resume back to a physical meeting, I think it would be good to go back to that format. However, as just for the management meeting for us, I think it's quite convenient for most of us to actually meet virtually, if that's okay with all of you, and we could meet once a month. And I'm open also to view on that perspective. Maybe Ines? Yeah.
The only thing is that Rina and Brigitte will not be able to join us also the coming months.
Because they don't have the virtual access, or they don't have a computer?
Access and computer. We will have to find out from Rina. Brigitte, it's also a difficulty. And Brigitte is actually the treasurer. So
which is a very important role.
It's an important role.
So
can we make it a hybrid?
That's fine also?
Like a hybrid meeting. What do you think?
You can try to do the meeting in your office and then invite them to your office, something like that.
That's fine. I can do that. That's okay. When would you like that to take place? When would you like that to take place? Yeah, preferred date and timing?
The first week of the month, the first Tuesday in the month.
Okay, and at what time?
July. Maybe also at 6, if they can make it.
Yeah, but would they be ready to come or to stay at the VIC until 6 o'clock for those?
We have to find out. We have to find out. Send them an email.
For me, 6 at the VIC is fine if you want to do it like this. But I'm not so sure from their perspective. So maybe I'll reach out to them, to both of them.
Okay.
And I'll try to ask them what's the most convenient for them. Also, and then we'll come back and exchange on that perspective to find. But probably meeting once a month and scheduling it maybe on the same timing that the club meeting, but on a different, on the first week. I think it's fine. Looks good to me. Jen, just then a bit of a logistic questions. Can some of you chair the meeting, the upcoming meetings that we have? The next meeting is on the 14th and then on the 28th. And most likely I will not be reachable. If I can, I'll try to join on the meeting, but I'm on vacation for 7 weeks. And I'm
wow.
I'm not sure I will have access on those days to join the meeting. If I have, I'll gladly join the meeting. But so someone needs to actually one of the, if I understand correctly, one of the club officer has to somehow preside the meeting. Tom used to do it, but so I see this thing.
Yeah, it's me again. It's me again. The chain of command, the hierarchy is after the president is the vice president of education.
Very
so
good.
Melanie, you're going to be the presiding officer. Bravo.
Bravo.
I'm also not here. I'm also not here.
Come on.
I can
Come
try.
on, Melanie.
I may be away. In the last 2 weeks of July, I'm definitely not here. And then the first two, I'm kind of a little wishy-washy with work right now. So if I know the dates ahead of time, I'll see what I can do. Okay.
Okay. Or you can delegate. I mean, don't forget, I mean, again, also to Mr. President, part of this whole thing is being able to delegate to other people. It doesn't just have to be you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just want to ensure we're planning for that.
Absolutely.
And we have someone, and that we still offer a meeting of substance and quality for our participants. So, okay. That's on the meeting, and at some stage, thanks for Victoria to send us the schedule of what we're supposed to do. And actually, I was very glad to see that there was supposed to be a handover meeting as part of the checklist of things we were doing. So actually, that's what we're doing over. But as most of us actually staying on, at some stage we also I'm interested in, and I had a preliminary discussion at the end of the last meeting with Alois, Victoria, on what do we set ourselves for objective for the upcoming 12 months in terms of memberships, in terms of content. Do we have any specific objectives? So obviously Toastmaster has a number of objectives that it can set to the club, but what do people think also and what they want? And we'll start with Maria Teresa. Over to you, Maria
I
Teresa.
suggest you read the part from Toastmasters International about Distinguished Club Program, because there you will find all kind of references. Should you, I mean, say for example, have, I don't know, people that are working on awards and they get credit for those awards. I'm not so familiar with Pathways, so I don't know how that works in the new scheme. But Distinguished Club, you ought to check that out, because that's an idea from Toastmasters about what the club specific goals should be. We'll give you some ideas.
Okay.
Maybe we can also have a look at the club report, which Victoria prepared. And she has sent it per email. Maybe we can just sort of upload it. Alois, do you have it somewhere? It was sent on WhatsApp.
Give me some time.
Can I just say apologies to Maria Teresa? I sent out the DCP report just before the meeting started on WhatsApp. Okay. Because I did not have time to email this, and it's the fastest communication. So sorry, Maria Teresa, you were not able to see that.
Okay. One other thing, you should define, I think you should also decide in the future the methodology for communicating. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm old-fashioned. I like to talk to people. But some people like WhatsApp, or some people like via EasySpeak, or some people like in an email. I think you should decide on a methodology, and then we stick to that.
Was ist denn da los schon wieder? Kruzitierten. Fellow Toastmasters, my apologies,
No problem, Alois. Can I just mention that Maria Teresa, you said you like the traditional way by verbal, you know. I can give you the report verbally. We made it. We actually reached 9 goals out of 10. So we are distinguished, a president's distinguished club.
Super.
The only thing that we would have to, you know, really look into for the next coming season is the membership. Because, and on this report, you can see that we have 27 to date as from the base. But if you really look into Toastmasters International, we have 11 members who still show as being members, but they have not renewed their membership. So we are going to lose them with September. And 11 members, that is a lot.
Yeah, of course.
I would suggest, excuse me for interrupting, but I would suggest maybe the membership vice president could somehow be in touch with these people and find out.
Right.
And try to flesh out something concrete.
Mm-hmm.
That would seem logical to me.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
I
that's
think,
the report.
yeah, that's the report as of yesterday. And can you see everything? Because here I have a little, okay, now it should be everything, yeah.
So can you walk us through, Victoria, through that report, so to understand what it is?
Yes, sure. I mean, when you know, right on the top, you see the club name, of course, and then you see which area, which district we belong to. Then in the middle, you have the membership section. And there you can see base is 38, which means at the moment we have 38 members on our roster. But 27 have renewed. So actually we only have 27, which is not a good number for a club. An ideal number for a club is actually 30 at least.
Okay.
Yeah. This has been going on with our virtual meetings. I'm a little bit worried because at the VIC, we usually have guests, you know, we bring guests regularly and a lot of them actually become members in time.
Right.
But since we are meeting virtually at the moment, it's a bit difficult. I've asked, you know, the district leadership what suggestions they would have for membership campaigns. And one of them was to publicize on social media. So that might be some idea that, you know, we could focus on. But I mean, this is really something we would need to you know, to really focus on, to really have some membership growth for the future.
Can I just make a point? Something also to consider, and I don't want to be, you know, just a troublemaker, but up to now, our statutes say that people have to have a VIC grounds pass. If we're meeting virtually, do we throw that out the window or not?
That's the point.
No views on that.
Good question.
It makes it more difficult logistically to welcome the members to come inside because someone needs to go at the door and sign them in. But that's the only issue, I think. No.
No. It's a bit more complicated than that. I mean, we've made exceptions for people in the past, but ordinarily this is considered a corporate club with limited membership.
Ah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody? Alois?
Yeah. That's correct. That is correct.
So, but I think in the base of the people of the VIC, we should be able to find enough people. Do we want those people? But my question is, okay, so from what I understand now, we need slightly more, we need to get some new members. How many do we want to, what's our target? Because frankly, in the last months, the last 2 months, it was actually quite difficult to have speech. We had a weekly meeting. We had weekly meeting, and our slots were quite full. So quite on a few occasions, we didn't do table topics. So how many? What's the ideal size of the membership? And obviously, it depends how to what extent our member engaged. Because if you can have a lot of members, but with limited engagement, then you can be more. But if they want to progress on their pathways, then we need. We need not to have too many members, otherwise we're going to have an issue of speaking availability. Any thoughts on that?
Normally we had, I think last year, at the beginning of this year, there were 35 members. Then that is pre-corona times. During the last 2-3 months, because of the online meetings, there was really the consequence of that. a lot of the members, especially the new members from last year, did not participate, and actually they also did not renew their membership. I can think about 5 of those people. I will definitely contact them, because I think it's important to find out why they are not able to participate in the online meetings. I will find out, but we had actually in the beginning of the year 35 members. It's interesting. I will check it again. It's interesting what's happened in the meantime with those people. Were, I think we have a lot of inactive people these last weeks. I've seen that although I have contacted them and asked them if they could be on Zoom, probably they will not be able to, when they are in the office, to get on Zoom because of the restrictions, I guess. But there is also a possibility to work with their mobile phones. Okay, I will look into it.
Okay, so I'm fine. So anything else you want to highlight on the report? So one action we have to look at is that membership and to try to get a set of new engaged members, and I think we can.
I think one, if I may point out something, I would like to see that the management has a plan to the goal for the whole year. That means, okay, I know I need 2 level, or no, it says here 4 level P1s, 2 level P2s, 2 level P3s, in order to achieve at least as much as many points from the DCP program. At the same time, this year the club failed 10 out of 10 DCP points because officer training was not done completely. Some people didn't show up. So I think if one is really moving towards a goal and bringing that goal to the attention of the membership, then you will have more energy in it, and somebody is the horse pulling the whole wagon, no? And the others will follow. And another thing is, I haven't read that stuff what VIC has sent out, but I remember from my time there were several types of contests, like membership contests to bring new people in. So if you can earn points for yourself as well, I noticed, which was not clear yet. And I know that Marie-Therese is one of the forerunners who has brought many members to the club. That you can see when you look into the archive, the historic results or participations. Yeah? And so when you have a nice calendar which you can look at and say, okay, fine, in June we have this, in August, in July we have this, in August this, there will be still enough space for in between activities, like area conference. You never know that in time. That will depends on the organizers, how good they are, yeah? How well they are organizing it and how timely they will announce it. So you have to jump in all the time with your flexibility to fit in the various needs. So our own calendar should be already set now, yeah, because you have to firefight many other things in between. That was my understanding. Oops, nobody is talking anymore.
Oh, no, we're listening.
Yeah, over to you people.
I agree with you, Alois. I think the better planned the year, the better the year is planned, the more successful we will be. And that is why I sent out the timeline for the club, because you have the major Toastmasters points that need to be covered. But if you know those, you can actually accommodate the additional ones that our club might have as well. And also the district is actually offering district officer trainings. The next one will be on Easy Speak on July 12th. So those are regular trainings, and I do recommend that you actually attend them if you have time. So there's a lot of, additional things going on. So that is why the timeline is actually quite valuable to have, because you can orientate yourself better if you take that into consideration.
Okay.
The other thing I would like to propose is that we somehow have some sort of a mentoring scheme, because I know this is going to be a lot of work for the educational vice president. And maybe some of the people who kind of signed on to become members but then drifted away were not assigned a mentor. I think it could be very valuable to have a mentor who, Alois was using the allegory of having somebody pulling the cart. Maybe the mentor could be encouraging the new person, to give speeches, to take roles, to participate. I think that would make our life a lot easier too.
Good.
Can I just mention that Maria Ceporina, she is now the mentor of Suman Rathod, our newest member. Just
that's great. That's good. That's good.
Just for the VPEs to know. Okay, I've updated it on Easy Speak already, but so that you also hear it now.
Thank you.
Okay.
And sorry, one more thing. Tom also offered to actually mentor Silla. I had approached Silla in the past, and she had not been too keen to accept a mentor. But perhaps Tom can persuade her now and also mentor her for the next time.
Yes, it seems that I was successful in persuading, because we started to work on her next speech tomorrow. So let's see.
I have two mentees. One is Asian, and the other one is the new member. What's her name? From Spain, the new Judith. Those are the two mentees I have.
Yes. I mean,
Ines, if Ehsan is your mentee, your protege, could you please remind him to renew his membership, because he has not paid yet?
Okay, I will.
One aspect in the mentorship that I would like to emphasize is that it's a two-way thing. So I'm always looking forward to also learning from the new people, from the new members. Because what I believe is we also need to keep in mind is to somehow, well, in a way, maybe become a little bit more modern, to be attractive to more new members. That I think we shouldn't leave out of sight too much.
What's your thought on that, Thomas? What's your thinking?
We need to figure out what makes Toastmasters attractive to a new generation, and maybe this is sometimes different to the structures we have. And maybe we can find it. I think it's a good way to find out, when you have a relationship within the mentoring to new members, what are their needs and what they would like to see inside the club, and maybe also the structures they would like to change, or debate, or whatever needs to become different. It relates to many things, because in the beginning we heard about the communication channels. Of course, for us it's convenient to just have one, like email or something, but for some other people it is vital to have all channels available: Zoom, WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever. So maybe we also need to be more adaptive there to new needs, which of course will require new resources, but that's also a chance to attract new people to give these tasks then to them.
Okay.
Good. So quite a few things that we need to look at and come up with, as Alois mentioned, with some plans in some areas to go for it. So just to close, before closing the shared screen, Victoria, so these are the objective coming from Toastmasters.
Yes,
So
you find those.
So some of them, the big. So just to clarify, the top ones are education objectives. So our members continue to get education. The membership is just to get new members. Training is for us to go to those training, and then a couple of admin goals.
That's right. That's right. And you have to remember that from July on, of course, the traditional ones won't be there anymore. So it will be pathways from P1 to P6. And there will be an exception for the extended traditional one, the Advanced Leader Silver, and the which because of the DTM, they want to give those members the possibility to still achieve their DTMs the traditional way, in case they have they already have reached a certain level. So the Advanced Leader Silver will be the last one that you can actually find on the coming DCP program.
I have a question regarding the training. Last year, I did the training with all the officers. Do I have to do another one also for the VP membership in 2020?
Yes, Ines. These are trainings. You know, there are two officer trainings, which are conducted by usually the area directors. In our case, it was a joint event of our areas. It was the 3 areas of Austria, basically. So normally 2 of us, the F1 and F2, normally we are being, it's conducted in one event.
Right.
So it is actually mandatory for every club officer to attend these trainings. And the quality is improving. I remember when I started a few years ago, I mean, it was just being there, and some area directors, they just, had a discussion round. But those trainings are really improving. So it's also worthwhile to attend them, not only to meet club officers from other clubs and areas, but also for our own club. It's actually really important. So yes, Ines, it would be important that you also attend those area director organized club officer trainings. I was referring to the district officer trainings. They also are providing trainings on pathways for club officers, and also Easy Speak, for instance. Those are additional. Those are not mandatory, but I recommend that one if you have time, that you attend. But those 2 that are mentioned in the DCP here, they are usually organized by the area director, and they are mandatory for every club officer to attend. And normally, out of the 7, at least 4 would have to attend each term, so that we achieve those DCP points. So for each term, at least 4 officers would have to attend. Now, in this year, unfortunately, the last training, Monica could not come. She said she would join online, because they actually offered another online one for those officers who could not make it. But unfortunately, it just didn't turn out. So that's why we lost that 1 point. But ideally, all 7 club officers would be there.
Just a point, somebody like myself or Alois would not count. It has to be actually the member who has the primary function. So if I go, that doesn't give us points. It would have to be Melanie as VP of Education.
Right.
May I
But
also add
which does not actually mean that the others may not attend, of course.
No, of course not. Of course not. Of course not.
So it would
But
be
the
lovely,
club
Maria
only
Teresa. Yeah, it would be lovely if you also would attend, even though you're not an official officer.
I probably will, but I mean, I'm just trying to say that we get it straight, that it really only applies with the points to the people who are designated with the positions.
Correct, thank you.
I also would like to mention something. Just imagine the training, as far as I understood, was relatively long lasting, 4 hours or so, which is really too long. Yeah. But on the other hand, you have a big benefit out of it. You just save yourself reading through all these monster of magazines and manuals.
Yeah, that's
and if you read through them, you know already, this is that part which I haven't understood fully, and etc. So it's a big benefit having this training. And the training is very beneficial at the beginning of your job. Otherwise, you can get fired, right?
There's only one person who can fire someone on this club. It's Maria Teresa.
You're fired. No. Can I also make a point? And I think it's so important to realize the interconnectivity between the different officers. You know, I have experienced sometimes where, for whatever reason, people don't talk to each other directly. And sometimes there are things that one person thinks, oh, that's my responsibility, but it really isn't in reality. You get that all very, very clear. Define the meeting, sort of define the roles of each individual on the committee.
Okay, so
Goodbye, Victoria.
bye-bye, Victoria.
Bye-bye, have a good night, bye-bye.
You too.
Bye-bye. I also have to leave in a couple of minutes.
So I propose we stop here. This
Sounds
was just
good.
a handover. It was a handover meeting. It was also to discuss, to thank Tom and the outgoing team for the work, and also to start thinking about what we want to accomplish. And I propose next time we meet, we'll try to bring clarity in some of the objectives that we might want to reach in the various area, membership area, how we also how to better outreach to members and potential members, as Tom mentioned, and also to see what we can do under terms of content. So, so it was good to meet you all on this beautiful day. I'm happy that Maria Teresa was able also to join us while being in a country house, and I look forward to. I'll try to join in tomorrow, but tomorrow morning I'm at the airport, so I'll try to see if I can connect to the meeting. But Tom, you're joining the meeting tomorrow or not?
I will join the meeting tomorrow, but only shortly, because we have a farewell party for a colleague.
Okay.
I'll be there with Alois, and we try to broadcast live from that meeting. So we will see how that goes.
Okay, but you're the presiding presiding officer for that meeting, yeah?
Yes, that's my last meeting. Yep.
Excellent. Okay. On that note, if anyone wants to say something else, otherwise, I wish you a great evening and all the best.
Thank you.
Have a nice time.
Thank you.
Alois?
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Can I stay and ask you a question?
Yes.
Just you and me.
Okay.
No, I want to stay. I'm sorry. I want to witness. Don't stop the recording. Alois.
Okay.
I'll watch after your conversation, your private conversation. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye, Melanie.
Hey,
I wanted to ask you, do you have any good doctors you can recommend to me?
First of all, the recording is still running. I'll stop it now.